Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you wearing another black tank top because yes, our air conditioning is still not fixed, and no, I'm not going to stop complaining about it. Okay, so I thought I would do a little talking video because this specific topic has been on my mind recently a lot. When I tell you that I have wanted to buy everything, it's been a struggle. I've really had to look deep inside myself and try to understand my compulsive need to collect makeup, but anyway, I wanted to talk about the brands that I am desperate to try because there's so many brands. All of these are indie brands, and there are just so many amazing brands and just not enough money in my bank account, and maybe we can commiserate together, and I would love for you to let me know what brands you want to try. My window is open, so the birds are going to be chirping, okay? Otherwise, I would just sweat my entire face off. And I did film this look. I redid it, actually, because I didn't like the way it looked in pictures. Anyway, it's not important. If you want to see how I did this, it's in my Cliuna video, my 10 looks video. It's long, but I have timestamps. Anyway, okay, so let's just start. The first brand, oh my god, there's just a story with Adept breaks my heart. They keep reeling me in and then just crushing my soul. The Plain Jane Ninhydrin and Kodan palette, literally everyone says that they're the most amazing things they've ever used. I feel like every single video that's ever been made about these palettes, and like Bad to the Brow, Millie from Bad to the Brow said that it was one of her best makeup purchases, like, period ever. And they're expensive. They're like $66 USD, which is like, I think 80 something dollars Canadian, and the shipping is really expensive. There's a story, but to ship all the palettes to me, it would have been 40 Canadian dollars, which is a lot. That's, I mean, a lot of money just to pay for shipping. And they have, for some reason, decided to discontinue completely the Ninhydrin and Plain Jane palette. Like, I get that. You know what, I'll be the first to admit that I don't understand brand, like, business, and like there's a lot of stuff I'm sure that goes on behind the scenes that consumers like myself don't understand or realize, but like, why would you completely discontinue a product that's like so coveted and is selling so well? Like, to me, that makes no fucking sense. Maybe I'm just being ignorant, but I just like don't get it. Anyway, they were doing like the last restock at the end of May ever, and that just so happened to be the day that I was going camping. And so I had an alarm set on my phone for 2 p.m. and we were on a hike and I had no service, and I was like, well, fuck. And then this is the worst part, because I had decided, like, I'm just gonna buy them, you know, like, fuck my bank account, I'm gonna get them. And then I put them in my cart when we got back, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. I was like, let me just think about it, because I wasn't expecting to be able to, like, for them still to be in stock. And so I was like, let me think about it. And in between the time that I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I had them in my cart, they went out of stock, and I was like, well, fuck. I mean, in the end, that's probably like good, because that would have been a lot of money, like too much money for me to be able to really justify spending. But Adept is like the brand that I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to like get, but it's gonna haunt me. And every time I see someone swatch or use the Plain Jane, like any of the Adept palettes, a part of my soul cries. The next brand is Midas Cosmetics. Maybe I'll put some like little pictures on the screen here to make it more visually appealing for you. Midas is a brand that I've been wanting to try for a really long time. A lot of their palettes I think are really, really beautiful, specifically the Perception palette that they recently released with the Basic Bee and their collab palette with Drench Cosmetics. Both of those look so nice. Oh, they look so nice, and I really, really, really want to try this brand. I also really want to get one of the face palettes that they did in collaboration with Neon MUA. Like, they really have a ton of things that I want, but you know, like, there's only so much that I can buy basically. And I was gonna buy from them like probably a year ago, but then they have like pretty expensive shipping to Canada. Well, it's like 20 USD, so that is expensive. I honestly probably now would be willing to pay it, but there's just like so much stuff. It's like, where do I even begin in terms of what I want? Like, which brand do I choose to buy from first, you know? But Midas is on my radar. I will get to them hopefully soon, but yeah, they look really nice. Glamlight is another one, especially, okay. First of all, I've heard some mixed reviews, but like overall, generally everyone seems to be like, Glamlight's formula is amazing. Like, their mattes are beautiful, their metallics are so like shiny and sparkly, and I just really want to try them. I'm not gonna lie, to a certain extent I agree with, like, it's not the packaging that matters, it's how it applies on your face, which is 100% true. But at the same time, there's something about just having like a giant pizza or burger palette that just, it's not drawing me in. Obviously it's drawing a lot of other people in. Personally, it's not my personal cup of tea, but, and also a lot of their palettes just look like very similar variations of rainbow palettes, and rainbow palettes aren't like color stories that really want me to buy them. So yeah, but recently a lot of people don't like it. I feel like I'm in the minority of people who actually like the new collab palette they're coming out with. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I have no idea who the collaborator is. Apparently she's like a TikToker. I don't know. I have TikTok. I go on it like in fits and spurts, but there's like a lot of stuff happening on TikTok that I'm not aware of, and I really actually don't watch any makeup content at all on TikTok, so I was like, I don't know who this person is, but I really like the palette. I like a half neutral, half colorful palette, and I don't mind big palettes, so I don't hate it. I also really am intrigued by their ice cream dream or something palette. I feel like, again, Glamlight is one of those brands that I will probably buy something from eventually, but they've been on my radar, particularly recently with their collab palette. This next one is a little bit of a cheat because technically I do have one thing from this brand, but I want to try more. I desperately want to try more. I want to try more Lunar Beauty. I have the Moonspell palette. I really love that. And Lunar Beauty's color stories really appeal to me, and their packaging is beautiful, particularly their Strawberry Dreams palette and the Lunar Eternal Eclipse palette, or whatever it's called. Love. I think both of those palettes are beautiful. I've wanted the Strawberry Dreams palette forever. I actually probably would have bought perhaps both of those if Lunar Beauty was still on Sephora, just because Sephora, being in Canada, is a little bit more accessible to me than ordering directly from Lunar Beauty's website, but it's not really that big of a deal. I also think their blush palette is beautiful. Lunar Beauty is on my radar. Like, I really love most everything that they've done. Next, Be Still My Heart. Divina. Am I filming? Yes. Okay, I had a panicked moment. I can't even begin to describe to you the level of self-control that it took for me to not buy something when Divina restocked this past week, because I just, again, have been watching like all the videos that exist on just watching Divina Shadows, and my friend on Instagram, Angelica1995, says that they're like her favorite, one of her like most coveted single eyeshadows, that they're so sparkly and beautiful, and I just want to try them so bad. But because I made a Terra Moons order, which may or may not be coming soonish, and like I can't buy it all, you know, and so I was like, I'm trying to be responsible, and because I'm posting about my low buy and my budget on here, I feel like I'm being held somewhat accountable. But I'm not gonna lie, if I wasn't talking about that, I might have just bought something. But like, I'm coming for Divina. I feel like that's my next purchase of single sparkly shadows. Speaking of my low buy, I also desperately want to try Sydney Grace, and I may or may not have intentions of making a tiny exception and buying the new Tintalia and Sydney Grace palettes. I also love I know like they've had mixed reviews. I love the color stories of those palettes, and Legally Black Beauty is a big fan of Tintalia, and she's been talking about Sydney Grace on her Instagram, and she recently said that Sydney Grace was the Pat McGrath of indie eyeshadow, and I was like, if that isn't the most glowing review I've ever heard. I've never heard a bad review of Sydney Grace. Everyone says that their eyeshadow formula is like unparalleled, it's so beautiful, and like it's amazing, and I just want to be part of it. Their shipping's also super expensive to Canada, but recently I've just been like, fuck it with the shipping. I don't know what's going on with me, but I've been like, what shipping? I'll pay anything. So yeah, I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and just do it. But they've been on, I almost shopped their Christmas in July sale last year, and then I saw the shipping, I was like, no. But I think I might just say fuck it. Speaking of single shadows, Glam Shop. I also desperately want to try Glam Shop. Like, they're on, of all these brands, they're like up there with Divina and Sydney Grace in terms of like what I want and what I think I realistically will buy soon. Again, their shadows look so sparkly, so beautiful. I also didn't realize how many different iterations of palettes they have, and I love the color stories. They're honestly some of the best 9-pan monochromatic palettes that I've ever seen in terms of variation in tone and depth. I think they're really beautiful, and honestly fully giving ColourPop a run for their money in terms of monochromatic palettes. So I'm interested in trying their palettes as well, but Glam Shop, I'm also coming for you soon. Ulta Beauty is another one that I've had on my radar for a while. They're just not the most easy for me to access because we don't have Ulta in Canada, and I don't know, but I've heard so many amazing things about their base products, and I really, really want to try their base products. So I'm thinking of making an order at some point, maybe if I finish some things up, I don't know, I'm sussing it out, but Ulta Beauty is another one on my list. I also really want to try Shroud. I know they've been getting a ton of flack in terms of the Beauty Bean collab that they did, the It's Frickin' Bads palette. It's freaking Bads. Anyway, whatever. I think that palette's really pretty. I love their Arcana palette. I think it's so grungy, like grungy, colorful, exactly what I love. I've heard, again, mixed reviews about their formula. Some people say that they don't really like it that much. It seems to not really ship that well because it seems like a lot of people have broken palettes. I don't know, but I'm still very intrigued by the brand, and I like kind of their whole thing. So maybe in the future, when kind of shit stops hitting the fan with their It's Freaking Bad palette, I'll make an order from them. Muse Beauty is another one that I just love. They give me the vibes of like Kaleidos in the sense where they have like a really strong vision for their brand, for their products, and it appears as though they like execute their vision very well, and so many people have been saying that their formula is so amazing. I think the idea of basing makeup products, particularly eyeshadow palettes, on art is just the most fucking genius thing. It's like, how has that not been done yet? It just makes so much sense, and I think that they do it so well. Their Van Gogh palette looks so nice. I really like their new Rococo palette. They have a bundle of all three. I really want to I just want to kind of just get all three palettes. I don't know. They're on my radar as well, and I really, really want to try them. I love their whole like thing. It really draws me in. I love a good theme that's done right, you know? I love a good theme that's done right. And last but not least, this is a very recent addition, but also has like shot up to the top of my list. I've been really wanting, if you haven't been able to tell, to dive more into singles, and the world of like sparkly, shifty indie singles just appears to be limitless. It's like so many. How do you choose between all the beautiful things? But Touch of Glam has recently caught my radar. They have like, I think it's like called their Twisted Pastel collection. M Jones 5018 on Instagram. Well, first of all, go follow them. I don't know their pronouns, but anyway, go follow them. They have the best swatches ever. They capture shifts and shadows, like honestly one of the best, in the best way that I've ever seen. I don't know how their photography skills are like insane, but the way that like these, and Badge the Brow did a video on these as well, I believe, and they just look so beautiful. They're like $20 a piece, which is definitely expensive, but it's not unheard of in terms of like special indie shadows, I feel. And the way that they look, like so shiny and shifty and sparkly and beautiful and like iridescent, but still have like pigment and like body to them. They just look so, so, so nice. Touch of Glam is very intriguing to me. All right, let me move to the middle of the frame. I hope that this was an enjoyable video for you to watch, perhaps. It's, like I said, been something that I've been thinking about a lot in terms of like, how do I choose between all of the options that are available to me, particularly in the indie world. Like, there are so many brands up here to just like really be killing it, putting out really, really great products. A lot of these are Black-owned brands that I want to support, and I just think that how do you choose? And I ask this in earnest, how do you choose? How do you choose like what brands you decide to buy from? Because it's like when I think about it and I put it into perspective and stuff, it's like sometimes I just feel so overwhelmed by like the want to purchase all these things, and like grappling that with the reality of that I don't have enough money for that. And it's hard to like narrow it down, especially posting and stuff and seeing other people buy things. It's like insane. Anyway, I hope that this was enjoyable. Let me know what brands you want to try, or if you've tried any of these brands and you think something's not worth it or something's really worth it. I would really, really love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to do, and I will see you next time. Bye!